What's up, everybody? It's your girl AP, and I wanted to talk about budgeting for beginners, how to make a simple budget in 2022. Now, budgeting has been the #1 tool that has helped me pay off my debts, excluding the mortgage. I still do have a mortgage, back in 2017. So in this video, I wanted to teach you the basics of how to put together a budget for the very first time. Okay, so like I say, I am Adrian. A lot of people call me AP, and I'm all about living that debt-free life. On my channel, I talk all things money management, motherhood, and lifestyle. I picked those 3 categories because it gives you a glimpse that, you know, behind the scenes of everything that I do that encompasses like my money management and how I'm saving, and also how I am spending my money, especially as a single mom. Now, before I proceed, I want to make sure that you hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so that you will be notified every time I make a new video. And I just recently came up with an upload schedule, so the videos will be Saturday at 3 and Monday at 4. So you're going to want to stay tuned for those. So if you're interested in learning how to put a budget together for the very first time, this is the video for you. Let's get started. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is list out your monthly income. Let's see here. So we're just going to pretend all of these numbers and categories, I'm just throwing them out there. You can adjust this budget according to how much you actually bring in and actually how much you spend, and the different categories that you want to incorporate into your budget. I have some different categories that I will show you on here, and you can just adjust it, you know, what fits your family. Now, I did make this here. This is what I use monthly, and this helps me to, you know, keep up with all of the money that I have coming in, my fixed expenses, sinking funds, cash envelopes, and money challenges. And of course, we'll get into this a little bit later, but yours may not look like this. That's why I said you have to tailor it to how, you know, what you bring in, what you spend, and the different categories that you want to incorporate into your budget. All right, so we're going to talk about first your monthly income. So we're going to pretend that you bring in $4,000. At the end of this budget, we want everything to equal out to 0. So of course, we're going to calculate everything so that we know that everything equals out to that 0 amount. All right, we're going to next list our debts. Now remember, these are just made up categories and amounts. Let's say you have student loans, and you pay per month $500. If you have a car loan, you're paying $200. Credit card number 1, you're paying $100. Credit card number 2, you're paying $75. All right, next, let's talk about some fixed expenses. Now these, you know, will basically be the same each month. You know, it may go up or down like your utilities, but for the most part, these the different ones in this category under fixed expenses are things that you will be paying every month. So we're going to start with your rent or your mortgage. And that is $1,100. And next, utilities. And you're going to pay $200 a month for those. And this is basically for like gas. For your fuel, and we all know it's going up crazy high, but we're going to spend $200 on that. Car insurance, $100 on that. Cell phone, $80. Your alarm, I put this because I personally have an alarm. You may or may not have an alarm system, so you can add that or take that one away. So I'm gonna add $60 to that one. Now my variable spending, here we can do the internet and subscriptions. So that could be Netflix or anything like that. Hulu, Disney Plus, any of that. We got 100 there. Now for me, I do cash envelopes. So I just quickly showed you that on this printout here. And I basically have 5 different cash envelope categories. And so I'm gonna show you on here what those are. So we're gonna do cash envelopes. I like to spend money. I like to spend like cash as opposed to always using my debit card. So I take a certain amount of money out of the ATM every time I get paid. You can check that out in one of my videos, or you can follow me on my Instagram because I show behind the scenes about how I do a lot of things as well. But I use cash envelopes, and my categories are eating out, because truth be told, who wants to cook every single day? No one. We do strive to do that, but sometimes you're just tired and you don't want to do it. So we have the eating out here, and we have personal. We're going to do 50 here. Miscellaneous, 100. And groceries, 300. And household, that will be 50. Now I have miscellaneous in here because sometimes you may spend all of the money out of one of those different categories, and this is kind of like a buffer for your cash envelopes, okay? One thing that I want you to stay tuned for in another video is how to track your expenses, because when you track your expenses, that's a good way to find out kind of like how much you really spend per month. So I want to encourage you to try to track your expenses at least up to 3 months, so you can kind of get a real idea about how much you spend per month, and then your numbers will look a little bit better here. And I have this on my Etsy as well, and I'll do a video on how to track your expenses, so stay tuned for that. All right, next let's talk about I do sinking funds, so that's going to be another category here. Sinking funds. And then in my sinking funds, I'm going to do clothes. And this kind of varies because I don't think anyone buys clothes like every single month, but you'll at least have the money if you need it. You won't have to go into debt if you want to buy you some new clothes. Holidays. This includes all the holidays, not just Christmas, but we're going to put $50 per month into that. And if you have any pets, we're going to include $100. And then lastly, vacation, because we're not going into debt for a vacation. So we have that there. I believe it's always important not only to have a buffer in your cash envelopes, to also have a buffer in your checking account. And so the buffer in your checking account, that's going to be $50. And remember, it's very important that we always pay ourselves. We will never neglect ourselves because we're trying to build our emergency fund, because no one is going to save you. You have to basically save yourself. So in our savings, we're going to send $225 to savings. All right, so now let's add up everything because we want it to equal out to 0. All right, so now that we have all of our categories and everything that we're spending our money on, let's add up everything or subtract everything basically from our monthly income of $4,000 so that it equals out to 0. So we're going to start off with the 4,000 here. And we're going to minus the student loan, the car loan, the credit cards. We're just going to add them both together. So it's $175. The rent and mortgage, utilities, gas for your car, the car insurance, cell phone, alarm, the internet. Now moving on to cash envelopes, eating out, personal, miscellaneous, the groceries, the household. Now we have our sinking funds, 50 for clothes, 50 for holidays, pets, 100, vacation, 100. Our buffer is 50. And then our savings is 235. Let me correct that here. So 35. All right, so that basically is how you're gonna set up your monthly budget. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some insight how to do a quick and easy budget, especially for beginners. It's very simple. Make sure you stay tuned because in a future video, we're gonna talk about how to track our expenses. Take care.